Jai Gurudev to all of you. Myself Rohit Dutt, and I'm taking your business studies class. So students, in our previous class we have started the topic scientific management by F.W. Taylor. Today we will be discussing the principles of scientific management. And before we start, again I would like to remind you that please go through the e-PDF of this chapter so that learning could be effective. And one more thing, please follow the guidelines of coronavirus as instructed by our Prime Minister, and stay home and be safe. Coming to our point, that is principles of scientific management. You can see, so principles of scientific, there are four principles given by F.W. Taylor, okay, regarding scientific management. Clear? You can see. Coming to our first principle of scientific management, that is science not rule of thumb. Okay, so they are saying that F.W. Taylor want to say that we don't have to use the rule of thumb, which means hit and miss. Okay, instead of rule of thumb, apply science. That means rule of thumb methods are traditional approaches that suited organization in the past. Okay, under mass production, the volume of work had expanded that required scientific methods to manage and control work easily. Accordingly, Taylor suggested that method of particular business activity should be scientifically studied prior to the prior to their applications to avoid mistakes. Okay, so he suggested introducing standardized and guaranteed approach that led to efficiency in operation. Clear? So, for example, we can take that uh, a textile factory consists of 150 workers, and there are five different units within this factory: spinning, weaving, stitching, adding buttons, and embroidery. Okay, so each of these units was assigned with a specialist foreman who has knowledge and experience regarding that particular activity. So there will be five specialist foremen who will be assigned with 30 workers, each distributed among five business units. Okay. Then coming to our second point, that is harmony, not discord. So under this principle, F.W. Taylor says that workers and management should work in harmony with mutual cooperation and coordination. Workers should not be overburdened with work, while should not feel dissatisfied with their investment of time and money in an organization. So, according to Taylor, a firm can achieve maximum prosperity if workers and management work with each other, leading to development of a cordial relationship with each other, and team spirit and organizational goals can be achieved easily. Okay, example you can take, workers are assigned with work by one superior, okay, like a functional foreman. These superiors are allocated separate bureaucratic power and can divide the particular activity into several tasks depending upon the complexity of the activity. Okay, they act as disciplinary mediators during disputes and review workers' performance. Such a relationship between workers and superiors is necessary as it creates harmony and avoids confusion along with conflict. Okay. Coming to our third point, that is cooperation, not individualism. You can see here. So, under through this principle, F.W. Taylor wants that in continuous with the earlier point, okay, it is uh, coordination and not individualism that will assist or help in achieving organization goals. Cooperation is an action of working together, and Taylor states employees and management should cooperate with each other, and that could lead to high moral and team spirit. Okay, so in the earlier example on harmony between workers and superior, workers are expected to cooperate and undertake responsibilities and accountability for completion of work. So as soldering led to underwork and individualism, Taylor observed that factories endured excessive cost and wastage of resources. Okay, coming to our next point, development of each and every persons to his or her greatest efficiency. Okay, so according to this principle, Taylor suggested that all possible human efforts should be utilized maximally, leading to efficiency and prosperity for the workers and the business. This means that workers with suitable skills and capabilities should be fittingly considered for certain activities in an organization. This also means that uh, workers should be employed for specific and specialized activities that possibly require minimal efforts and eliminate error and wastage of resources. Okay.